Hey, how's it going? So with the constant assault of new limited edition releases coming out on physical media for us physical media collectors of Blu-ray, 4K, VHS, DVD, any format, the wave of sort of limited editions we get nowadays, so many, and it's absolutely fantastic. We're constantly trying to acquire these editions to our collection, depending on our taste of genre or what have you. But from my perspective, a lot of the time, or I have been over the previous few months, because I want to and I enjoy it. I'm not even complaining. It's just a little intro to the video, but yeah, just trying to obtain all the latest limited editions that I want. Obviously, I don't want everything. Not everything's for me. I'm not going to get everything, but the end of last year and then first couple of months in this year, so many good limited editions coming out, and it got me thinking a little bit. I need to actually enjoy my collection a little bit more. Now, I don't want to go into too much depth, and this video isn't exactly one of those sort of physical media kind of collecting analysis videos on myself, where I kind of self analyze my collecting habits, etc. Sometimes those videos are interesting for me. Sometimes I just want to enjoy the collecting aspect and enjoy what I love. But yeah, it got me thinking, and I thought I need to actually enjoy my collection more, as opposed to just trying to acquire new releases. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not going to get the new releases that I want, or pick up random Blu-rays that I don't have in my collection that I want. It just means I may perhaps just think about the amount I'm buying, because I do have a lot. You can't even see everything in this backdrop. If you're familiar with the track channel, the Instagram page, and all that, you'll know I've got a lot more than this. This is just some of it behind me over there. A lot of Scream Factory stuff in that bookcase, a lot of Arrow standard editions in that smaller one. And yeah, I'm just thinking, let's enjoy the collection a little bit more. Yeah, I'm going to buy new stuff. I'm going to pick up titles I've missed when the time's right. But why do I have to keep, why do I keep getting them all the time? At one stage I'd be on just all the retailers online, whomever, all the, Amazon, HMV, eBay, HMV through eBay, some of the ones that do imports, all your music, all those type of things. When I was fed up or feeling a little bit bored, I'd be sat there and I'd just think, yeah, I'm just going to buy some new stuff for my collection. Granted, I've bought some fantastic films, and films that I never knew I would like, and films I've discovered through blind buying that I've added to my collection via doing that method. Fantastic. It's just looking at it. I think sometimes I got a bit, or do get a little bit absorbed in it, and I should be, thinking about other things, or perhaps, just perhaps not just sitting there, just feeling the need to sort of, just get more for my collection constantly. That's all I'm trying to say. It's not that I'm going to stop buying. It's not that I'm not going to sit down and do a random, slew of pickups and pick a load of stuff up. I will be doing that. I'm just thinking about doing it less frequently, just because I think it's good to have other interests and discover other things. Of course, linked to what I love, like horror films and physical media. The things I like to create in my own time, is influenced by the things that I adore and enjoy, especially influences from horror films and whatnot, but sometimes I think I could game more. I used to enjoy gaming a lot. I've stopped doing that since I've been a heavy collector, but I'm not stopping collecting at all. I'm just thinking, yeah, sometimes it's cool to scale back. Might have a month where I pick up I don't know, 10 or less Blu-rays. There'll be some limited editions in there, some new releases, maybe a couple of titles I've missed out on in the past, maybe some blind buys. But I don't know, just a perspective thing. I mean, my mind might change after this video. I might think, yeah, I'm going to sit down and buy some Blu-rays. But it's just. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make with myself is that I think I should enjoy my collection more. There's so many classics in my collection that I'm a big fan of, and I've watched many times and familiarized myself with. There's also a lot of movies in my collection that I'm not even overly that keen on. Not so much in the limited editions. Most of the films I pick up limited editions, even if they're blind buys, I've really enjoyed, or they're movies that I know I like and I'm aware of that, so I pick up the best edition possible of them, to give my collection, to enhance my collection a bit, for my own satisfaction. not necessarily a show thing. I just enjoy sharing it with everybody else, as a lot of collectors do. You know, I really enjoy sitting down sometimes, having a look on Instagram and seeing what the, you know, other collectors have picked up. It gives me ideas of things to pick up. When they show a movie that I haven't seen before, it might put me onto a movie that I can either pick up and watch and enjoy, or stream. So that's a good aspect of kind of sharing your collection. And with YouTube videos as well, like watching pickup videos, cool to see what's around and coming out and things like that, especially from other people, as well as doing my own kind of like research of new releases to pick up and things like that, if you will. Yeah, it got me thinking, so I will get to it. So as you can probably tell by the title, this is called Shelf Shocked, Hidden Gems in my collection. So I've got so many films in my collection that I don't even know if I like them. I've just picked them up, especially like with more standard releases. You know, I've got a load of limited editions and collector's editions and big box sets, etc. But there's so many like standard releases I've got in my collection of films that are supposed to be like absolutely magnificent and amazing movies that I haven't even got around to watching, because I'm just buying stuff all the time. I'll have a big watch pile. I also stream, because there's a lot of films that aren't available on physical media that I like to watch on like Prime and stuff. They're quite good for a lot of indie horror movies. And yeah, I was thinking, you know, I'm buying all this stuff. Yeah, I'm not stopping collecting. And yeah, there might be months where I buy a ton of stuff again, and there might be months where I get like under, say, 20 or 10 releases, depending. But it got me thinking, I need to enjoy my collection more. And actually, I do go through my collection and I do watch an average of about, I'd say, depending on what I'm doing the week and how busy it is, I watch an average of like 10 to 20 films a week. It could be 10 or under. It could be a sweet spot between 10 and 20, because that's one of my favourite pastimes, to unwind, chilling and watching a movie. And I'm sure a lot of you like this channel or watch it, or have your own channels who watch this or whatever. You can collect physical media, or love streaming movies, or both, or whatever. You just love movies in general, or film. I'm sure you can relate to like what I just said, but being one of your favourite pastimes where you unwind, you enjoy it. So for this video, in an attempt to enjoy my collection more, because there's a lot, all these films I have seen, by the way, of, because they're kind of, it's also kind of recommendations, but I thought I'd pick out some hidden gems I've got in my collection. Now, most of these aren't even limited editions. I tend to now focus on getting the latest limited edition that I want, of course, of a film I enjoy or a film I've been after for, you know, a considerable amount of time. And yeah, but there's also a lot of films I haven't watched in my collection, and I might do a video on that. But what I thought I'd do for today is pick out 10 hidden gems, just as kind of like a casual recommendation kind of esque sort of video, if you will. And yeah, these are all movies I've seen. They're not perfect movies. They won't be for everybody. Some people would think they were trash, but I think they're little hidden gems in my collection. Some of them are on boutique labels, some of them are not. Standard releases, maybe there's a couple of decent releases in there, better packaging and artwork, if you will. And yeah, I just thought I'd pick 10 out, and without further ado, we've been going on for 8 minutes. I just wanted to do a little, you know, a little intro thing to the video. Let's go through 10 hidden gems in my collection, and all on physical media as well. You know, I think most of them are readily available, you know, from different regions, depending. That's why it's always good to have an all-region player, so you can just pick up Blu-rays from anywhere, because you can get inputs at a good price, especially on standard editions, through outlets like All Your Music, and just as one example. And I thought I'd start with this one. It's a Scream Factory release, Blu-ray DVD combo. I think the movie's really good. I've only watched it once, but I consider it a little hidden gem in my collection, because with a lot of these movies, it slips my mind, and I actually forget that I've got these fantastic films into my collection to revisit. Sometimes I'm buying so much new stuff, because I'm such a like hardcore collector, like a lot of you. I'm buying so much new stuff, you know, without even thinking in depth about it. I forget these great films I have in my collection to revisit. And this one's Witchboard. I think this is a great movie, you know, about an Ouija board. A couple of people, they do, you know, they do an Ouija board, and they think they've summoned a certain entity or what have you, or they're communicating with it, but it turns out to be something far more sinister and, you know, evil, if you will, and out to get them. And it's a really fun one. Yeah, it's an Ouija board that, what does it say here? Yeah, it's actually got a good little bit on the synopsis. I'll read very quickly. I don't want to bore you, but It's called an Ouija board, and it's been used for thousands of years to communicate with the souls of the afterworld. But yeah, it's a good one. Basically about a spirit coming from an Ouija board, and you know, they've got to fight back and like not get killed by the spirit or demon. Maybe it's a demon. But good film, Witchboard. I've got the sequel as well, but I've never watched it. Yeah, nice addition that though, the Scream Factory one. Really like that one. This one I've seen a couple of times, not for many years, but a lot of people will think this is crap. I like it. I consider it a little hidden gem in my collection because it's not even the easiest Blu-ray to get. I'm not saying it goes for like ridiculous money or anything. It's just not perhaps the easiest one to obtain. I think this is a it's region free because it says region 0 on the back, but I think it's an American edition. I don't think this has a UK release, and it's a series of films. There's like 3 in the series. There's like another one. The third one's got the subtitle of Vengeance. The first one a similar title to this, but I think it's a different title in different regions. But this is the middle film, and it's called Bunnyman Massacre, and it's a lot of fun if you're into your trashy slashers. It's kind of like a homage and a kind of nod to like TCM. It's set backwards, like rural America, you know, out in the sticks, out in the far countryside. You got these 2 characters. You got the guy who runs his local like sort of farm shop, and his pal, the Bunnyman, who is a murderous slasher villain with a sadistic manner, lust for blood, crazy, you know, and wears a bunny costume. He's obviously friends with this guy who runs the shop. They both basically lure women in and, you know, hold them captive and murder them, torture them, all those kind of nasty things. But it's a really good slasher, really good trashy slasher. Just a nod to backwoods slashers. And definitely, you can definitely probably tell that the creators took a bit of inspiration from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre-like world, if you will, an idea. And it is pretty good for a trashy slasher. The acting's not exactly fantastic or anything, or brilliant. The plot's rather simple, like a simple slasher backwards story, but it's full of everything a slasher fan kind of wants. You know, you've got nasty kills. There's a bit of a nod to, like, you know, in Jason in Friday the 13th, I think it might be Jason Goes to Hell, or one of the films where, you know, there's a woman in a sleeping bag and he's just bashing the sleeping bag around. I forget which Friday it is, but there's even a nod to that in here, in its own, done in its own kind of like Bunnyman manner. But Bunnyman Massacre, it's not bad. It's from, I'll see if I can find the date. The font's very small. I think it's 2016. It might be 14. Devil guy idle rips your shelves and haunts your hole. He's jacked, he's mean, he's 12 inches tall. Devil guy idle doll. Glitching eyes and curse command. He melts your discs with one big hand. Collect them all or face the call. The devil guy's coming for the haul. Devil guy idle doll. Devil guy idle doll. Devil guy idle doll. From the depths of another dimension, he's mean, he's mighty, and he's devilish cool. Introducing Devil Guy Idol, the shape-shifting overlord of chaos and style. Another one that I'm sure a lot of you have heard of. I'm going to run through these a little bit quicker now, but that is the found footage one, the Poughkeepsie Tapes. You know, about this deranged guy on this footage that's been uncovered and unearthed, and he's torturing people in a strange, sadistic manner. But yeah, it's quite a good one. Bit of mystery to it. Not overly mysterious, but, you know, it's got some sort of like uncomfortable scenes on the footage of people being tormented and tortured. But yeah, the Poughkeepsie Tapes, really good one. A bit of witchery now, not the film witchery, but we have Superstition. And I really like this one because I just like the whole idea of the story, the backstory of the witch. It's not the perfect film. It's quite a kind of, you know, bit more on the low budget side of things per se, but it's a lot of fun. This is an Scream Factory edition. There was a witch. It kind of shows you part of the backstory at the beginning. A witch who was drowned in a lake. She is now coming back to haunt a sort of, you know, the local community. You do see images of the witch, and she does look quite terrifying. And this one, I thought, I need to watch it again. Don't get me wrong, because it's been years, but you know, there's some really creepy stuff that gets under your skin, especially the imagery involving the witch. But I don't want to spoil it or anything, but it's a really good one. And that's Superstition. That's the Region A Scream Factory release of it. Another one which I've shown on the channel when I started out, you know, when I first started the channel, I can remember putting this into when I used to do I don't know if anybody remembers who watches or used to watch and still does. I'll put it out there. I'll say so anyway, what I'm going to say. I used to do like a sort of 5 recommendations thing. I didn't quite call it hidden gems. I can't even remember what I called it now. I'll have to go back and look on my channel. It's where I used to do a sort of series of videos, perhaps one a week, and I'd like recommend sort of 5 movies. And I did include this because I can vaguely remember, but it's We Are Still Here. You know, it's got nods to Fulci in it, things like that with the gore. It's got a cool little like story. There's a reason why these entities are in this house. Who's actually in it? Because it does feature a couple of names in it from what I can remember. So Barbara Crampton's in it, Larry Fassenden, Andrew Sensing, I don't know who that is, Lisa Marie, and Monte Marcahan. So I only know a couple of actors in it, but it's a good one. You know, it's got a few nods to Fulci. The scene at the end is pretty chaotic and crazy with mad gore, and We Are Still Here, a good little creepy number, like basically... it's about this house and there's something in the basement, you know, and it's about to be unleashed. And there's a reason why it's there and it haunts it. And very gory as well, not just ghostly gore. Really good. A random kind of more exploitation film now I decided to slip in. I bought this one last year. Fantastic release from the German label Wicked Vision Media, who have a website and do distribute to the UK and other nations, perhaps most of them. And this is... Reformed Schoolgirls. This was a cool exploitation film about these naughty girls. Basically, they get sent to reform school. Well, they're kind of, you know, young women. They're probably 18, 19, maybe. And yeah, basically, there's this like that kind of sort of like strange looking one. She has kind of her faction, if you will, and the new girl with some of the other girls are trying to kind of get back, you know, fight back a little bit. They're kind of being pushed around, and you have the kind of matron of, you know, who you know, is very strict and very mean and treats them unfairly, and is running the her boss, who is like I forget, the warden, if you will. That's more of a prison thing. I think she's called the warden in this. You've got those two at the top, kind of like, you know, treating the young women badly and making it a bad hostile environment, and also encouraging them, like manipulating them to fight with each other in sort of like faction wars. It's got a crazy kind of action-packed ending, you know, where the girls kind of fight back and stuff all together, not even just separated by their factions. But it's really good exploitation movie. I really like that one. Bit of nudity in there too, I guess, and stuff. Here's another. This is a Scream Factory release. I was really impressed with this. Again, it's sort of horror adjacent, but not exactly full on horror. And this is Fire in the Sky, good alien movie, all about abduction. You do see the aliens in there. There's some really unsettling scenes where the individual who has been abducted is taken on board, you know, to the alien planet, and you get to see, you know, them looking at him and trying to gain knowledge about the human race. And it shows clips of that, you know, flashbacks of when he got abducted in the alien spaceship, and in, you know, and on their in their domain, and kind of like the weird aliens and how strange they look, and like really odd. But Fire in the Sky, really good, like good atmosphere. Not exactly a full-on slow burn, but it has slow burn aspects worked into the narrative. Really good movie. Don't even want to spoil it. Just Fire in the Sky. If you're into creepy alien stuff with an kind of unsettling tone, that's very well made, with good acting, good pacing narratively. Fire in the Sky. 3 more to go then, and here's another like little hidden gem in my collection. H.P. Lovecraft's Necronomicon. It's an H.P. Lovecraft adaptation. It's an anthology. Jeffrey Combs in the wraparound. It's full of Lovecraftian vibes, monsters, creatures in each individual story. Loads of nods to Lovecraft, of course. And a lot of fun. And yeah, cool little anthology film that I don't see get spoken about too much. We do the UK release as well. 2 more to go then. And this is Barbara Batch in The Unseen. I've seen this a couple of times now, and I was absolutely thrilled when I got hold of the Blu-ray at a good price. I've paid about $22 for this, which is enough, but it is a Scorpion release. Region A, because it's a US edition, but we don't have one over here. We just have a DVD, which I had, which I first watched it on. Absolutely brilliant film. There's this reporter who's filming a segment for the you know, this carnival. She is with her friend doing so, and her other friend, they come across this very, very strange, odd man. I'm just trying to find the guy's name. Sidney Lassick, who actually has a part in Carrie. He's the kind of weird, like, quirky, like, weird school teacher guy in the classroom, if you remember that scene. But he's in here, really good. Like, he turns out to be a complete weirdo. He offers the girls a place to stay because they can't find anywhere in town to stay over, like, you know, a hotel or whatnot. And they stay at his huge house in the middle of, you know, out of the way a little bit in the countryside, out of town. He's got a wife. There's a bit of a revelation there. His wife seems to be a little bit of a mouse, if you will. That's just a description. She's kind of mousy, and you know, he's got her under his thumb and he's in charge. She's a sort of, you know, be quiet and go and do your thing. That's what she does. But she knows he's bad. He's spying on the women. Something bad's coming. Something's in the basement. Brilliant film, The Unseen, really cool. And to finish things off, this really is a hidden gem. It did have a UK release, but it's actually long out of print. And I'll just get ready for this one, and that is Absentia. I thought this had really good vibes, really creepy, quite unsettling in parts. It's not full-on in-your-face horror. There's not really gore or violence as such. There is a little sprinkles, but it tells the story of this young woman. There's a tunnel near her home at the end of the street. The tunnel looks rather ominous and quite frightening. There's something down there. And basically, I don't want to spoil too much. It's about her being kind of like, even like subtly tormented by this sort of entity. Yeah, really creepy stuff. I will admit, I haven't got too much to say on this one because it's. I know it's good and I liked it a lot, but it warrants a rewatch. It's been about 5 years and I have only seen it the once. I need to dive back into this one. You know what it's like when you watch a lot of movies. Stuff goes in your head and it goes out, and I need to rewatch this to refresh myself with Absentia. But brilliant film from what I can remember. There's a look at the back. But even that tunnel just looks really ominous and spooky. It's directed by I know that I'm trying to get, because he sometimes uses it as Mike Flanagan, who did Doctor Sleep and The Haunting of Hill House on Netflix, and The Haunting of Bly Manor, Oculus. He's done a lot of films, really good director. He's doing the second film in the new Exorcist franchise soon, and I can't wait to see how that turns out, because I hated Exorcist Believer. I don't hate a lot of things or even people, but I couldn't stand Exorcist Believer. But anyway, Absentia, give it a go, because it's a really good Mike Flanagan movie, I thought. There you go. Anyway, there's my stack of 10, like, sort of what I personally would consider some hidden gems in my collection. I forget about these films often, and I even forget that I own them. And it's just good to have done this video and refresh myself. And I'm going to keep these in a watch pile now and go back to them. I'm definitely going to be revisiting Absentia. Really good. That's it anyway. Like, if you've watched this video at some point and you want to leave a comment, perhaps let me know of a couple of hidden gems in your collection. Maybe I've never even bought them or heard of them before. Maybe that'd be a good, like, recommendation for me. As you can probably tell, I'm very tired. I've been doing a lot of creative stuff this week and working, you know, like working on the channel aesthetic and things like that, and other bits and bobs for the skincrawlers.co.uk website, watching a few movies and other things I've been doing. So I'm really tired, a lot of lack of sleep. So I'm going to catch up on a bit of rest this Easter weekend, and I've got my house to myself this afternoon, which is cool. So thanks for watching. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.